Kansas State wins their final tune-up game, an exhibition game against Newman on Friday night. Let's get into the overreactions and how we feel heading into the regular season on Tuesday.
You are Locked On Kansas State, your daily podcast on the Kansas State Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Kansas State, your daily Kansas State Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Christian Rao, and thank you so much for making Locked On Kansas State either your first listen or the second listen as we're getting into a reaction show right here for the men's basketball team, defeating Newman 112-90 in their final exhibition game before they get ready for the regular season that begins on Tuesday. We're going to dive into the offense, the defense. We're going to dive into some stats, just really just discussion here on an overall reaction show as we call this a nightcap, if you will, as we prepare for Texas Tech for the football team in the morning. So hit that subscribe button. If you're listening in audio, I thank you. Rate 5 stars wherever you're listening. I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much. Biggest takeaways, without question, PJ Haggerty is going to be absolutely insane for this team. When you take both the Missouri game and this Newman game, he's just insane. 11 for 14 from the field. He also had 4 rebounds. He had 10 assists. He got a double-double in this one and only did it in 29 minutes. So you're probably going to see him play probably 35 minutes, maybe even more. He was very close to leading the country in minutes last year. I think that's going to happen again this year because when he's on the court, this is a completely different offense. And the offense looked good. Matthew Driscoll has really got this team in a good position. I don't think we have a lot of things to worry about for the most part for this offensive side. Overall, as a team, they shot 60%, 42 for 70 from the entire field, 9 for 24 from three-point land. That could obviously improve. And 19 for 31 from the charity strike, 61%. That got better with time. It was very dreadful early in this one. That's something they need to work on. They need to be better than 61% from the field. Between PJ Haggerty and Abdi Bashir, they got 52 points combined with the 27 from PJ and 25 from Bashir. Bashir was he was not afraid to shoot, and he was on brand. He was absolutely what we expected him to be coming in, that he was going to shoot the basketball. And at first, it wasn't great, just kind of like what we saw from him in the Missouri game. Couldn't really get going, but he finally started to pick it up towards the end. 5 for 12 from the three-point land and was 6 for 6 from the charity strike. He was the only one that was perfect on the game for whoever went to the charity strike. Just putting it into context, PJ Haggerty went 5 for 8. He was the one that went to the strike the most. David Castillo was 4 for 5. He was third most for free throws attempts. Castillo played good, and I think that'll be a big question that I have while we continue on this offensive side conversation. David Castillo, how much will we actually get from him moving forward this year? He played 17 minutes tonight while PJ Haggerty played 29. Do those 5 extra minutes that we expect to get from PJ Haggerty do they directly impact David Castillo, where we're going to see maybe only 12, 13 minutes from Castillo and then that 35 PJ Haggerty? Or is Jerome Tang, Matthew Driscoll, and the coaching staff going to find those minutes elsewhere and maybe see both PJ and Castillo on the floor at the same time? I think it'll be really interesting to see what they do on that regard, because we really didn't get to have a good taste over these 2 exhibition games when it came to what they were going to do at rotation. Jerome Tang played everybody that I believe was ready to go in this one. We didn't see Marcus Johnson, but that was the only player I think we didn't see in this game. So I do think that we'll see more play from PJ Haggerty, but I will be curious to see what the minutes will be from David Castillo. But there was moments where he looked hot, where Castillo was showing that he can let it fly. He had a really nice three-pointer. He was 1 for 2 from the three-point land. He was 3 for 6 from the field. And as I mentioned earlier, he was 4 for 5 from the free-throw line. He did some good things, and his defense was pretty decent from the perimeter. That's a nice transition because the defense is definitely not where it needs to be as they prepare for starting the actual regular season on Tuesday against UNC Greensboro. And that'll be on the same time, Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock Central Time. The defense was rough. And without even looking at the box score, if you look at the final score allowing 90 points to Newman should tell you that. A lot of it was perimeter defense. This game against Missouri, there was struggles with how they were defending down low, with the amount of size that Missouri had and how they were not able to handle the points in the paint. Well, it was kind of the complete opposite against Newman. Newman would just continue to shoot three-pointers. They shot 37 three-pointers in this game, and they were successful on 53% of them. They were 18 for 37 from behind the arc, and a lot of them were uncontested threes. And just because of good ball movement, Newman did a really good job moving the ball around in this one. And I mean, I think they're predicted to finish in the middle of their conference this year. They're a Division II team, but if they play the way they just did against Kansas State, I think they're going to definitely exceed expectations without question. I don't want to say this was a spot where you should say, man, they should have beat this Newman team by 50, because I do think Newman overplayed. They played really well in this one. They played almost all their players, but they shot really well from the field, especially from three-point land. Everywhere else, I think Kansas State did a really good job. You know, you get the 53% from the three-point line. Excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 49% from three-point land, but they only shot 44% overall. That's a whole 16% worse than what Kansas State did from the field. I like what I saw from this team. It's just there's going to be some peaks and valleys early. And obviously it's just about if they can overcome those peaks and valleys when they get to some of the tougher non-conference play, the Indianas, the Creightons, the et cetera, in a few weeks' time. That'll be the biggest question. Are they ready? And will these exhibition games, something that's kind of new in the eyes of college basketball, help them out with the buy-in? I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing good culture already. You can tell that this team is a lot more coachable compared to last year. You're not seeing those woes or those weird moments where we're going to probably have to come talk about on the show on the sidelines like we did last year. And I know it's still early, but either way, I think you're going to like this team overall. I have a lot of optimism for this team. There's no doubt about that. They did a good job in the turnover department, just like they did in their first exhibition game. They only had 11 turnovers compared to 23 for Newman. If you want to take it back to last game against Missouri, they had 10 turnovers, and Missouri also had 10 turnovers. So they did a really good job in the turnover margin department in both of these exhibition games. That was something that was a huge struggle last year for Jerome Tang's team. So the offense looks good. It's humming. That's something we couldn't say for the most part last year at all. So a lot of good things moving forward. The defense will be a concern, and I think it'll be something that lags over the first couple games. And if they can step up and get ready to go against UNCG and some of the other, dare I say, lower opponents in the non-conference schedule compared to some of the other ones they have to face on in the later weeks of their non-conference play, I think that I think they'll be okay. We'll see what happens, though. Tuesday's going to be a really interesting game for Jerome Tang and his roster. PJ Haggerty, though, man, he is playing like advertised. There is a reason why he led the country, was third in the country in scoring, while he was an All-American last year. He really is going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder, I think, this year, without question. I think there's a lot of things for him to be excited about if I'm PJ Haggerty. Getting up to that Big 12 level after starting there at TCU, what he did with Memphis last year. I think this team around him is much better than the team at Memphis last year. And I think that it's better suited for a guy like PJ Haggerty. I think Jerome Tang and his staff did a very good job building around PJ Haggerty. We'll see how the big men work. That I think will be the biggest concern overall. We'll get to that more on Tuesday when we dive into it. We're going to have another preview with the basketball team and their whole Big 12 overlook. We're going to drop to either Sunday night or Monday as well. But just want to get a quick reaction to this exhibition game here. Again, winning 112-90. They go 1-1 in exhibition play. If you want to keep that count on the scoreboard, doesn't do anything. Now that we've had this conversation, the slate is 0-0. They will get their first official game on books on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central Time against UNC Greensboro. That's when it really matters. That's when they have to start buzzing. That's when you have to hopefully have the culture, the buy-in, the fit, and not have a slow start like they did last year in non-conference play. Let me know what your thoughts if you listened to this game or watched this game on ESPN Plus. What you thought about this one. Was I missing anything? I thought Moby did a really good job. Moby Ike-Ruke played really well. McGriff played good. There's a couple other players that I think we're going to have some question marks. I think some of the international players look good. I think Rapique had some really athletic plays. Koshik had some athletic plays. There's some concerns about Buka that I think maybe he's just not ready for this level yet, and think he's going to be a slow build. We'll see how that one goes. And of course, that's the biggest concern for this team because of the big man situation, losing Tyreek Smith, things like that before the season even started. So overall, there will definitely still be a lot to talk about over the first couple weeks while they try and still find their identity. And although they're scoring 100 points and, in this exhibition game, I think being able to do it in a real game against a better opponent, I'll respect the Newman here, but a better opponent than a D2 school, then I think you can hopefully knock some of that worry off. But until then, I think we can overreact a little bit. I think that's fair because you have a few days to do that. On Tuesday, if the same things occur, if the defense pops up, if you win this game 112-90 on Tuesday in a real game, yes, you might be 1-0, but I think we might dig into it a little deeper. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We got a lot to talk about this weekend. Get some sleep if you're listening to this on Friday night. If you're listening on Saturday morning, getting ready for the football game, well, get ready to roll and maybe crack one nice cold and early. Enjoy Harley Day. Enjoy the college football atmosphere at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. And right after the game on Saturday afternoon, we will be live right here on Locked On Kansas State, breaking it down with hopefully an upset win between Kansas State over Texas Tech. But wrapping this one up, Kansas State takes down Newman 112-90 in their final exhibition game before taking the regular season start on Tuesday for hopefully the last opener where we talk about Jerome Tang not making the NCAA tournament. It's going to change this year. I got a good feeling about it. And before we go, this reaction show was brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back. There's no better place to get on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride that hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into same game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps making the game more exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when that first $5 bet wins. You can do that against Texas Tech. If you're watching this one before the kickoff starts, perfect time to place that first $5 bet. If you believe in upsets, probably can get good odds on that one. So head to FanDuel.com, sign up, and play your game today with FanDuel. That's going to wrap it up for this episode right here on Locked On Kansas State. Thank you so much. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you back here next time right here on Locked On Kansas State.